what it is, and if you want to have it, to use it, or extend applications that use it. I hope you can have some insights about how much work is needed after this presentation. So that's my goal. So first of all, what is Grilo? Yeah, so two things that you must keep in mind about thinking about Grilo. It's a multimedia framework. Its purpose is to gather content and metadata. So you can look for videos, images, any kind of metadata or content for multimedia applications. And the second thing is that it is pluggable. So how this work is done through plugins. One of the great advantages is that it's very easy to extend, make new plugins, new sources, so on. Yeah, this first part of the presentation, I want to kind of showcase a little bit about how Grilo is being used, mostly in the desktop in GNOME. So it gets easier to understand its purpose and how it's being used and so on. Yeah, so this is GNOME videos, Totem. It has two interfaces. I don't know if you can see well enough. I can open it afterwards anyway. So yeah, so you can see here, there is this basic interface. It's in these channels in GNOME videos. So there is this upper side. You can try to search through any kind of plugin, or you can browse them. So you can browse through any kind of plugins that you have available. In my case, I don't think I have many. But for instance, browsing Apple trailers, you can see, like I scrolled a little bit already, and you can see like some videos and play them, and you can get the thumbnails, name, the length of the video. So all of this is done by with Grilo. With some API calls, you can have it all. Like just browsing Apple trailers, you can get this on Totem. Totem, of course, there is a widget for it, and it fills it. And for instance, search. Yeah. So for instance, I was searching Mr. Robot, which is a cool series. You should check it out. Yeah. Then it shows like the whole feed that I could get from YouTube itself in a browser. Here, for instance, is Rhythm Inbox. The interface is obviously different. I'm browsing Jamendo. It's another web source for music. Here I'm browsing, so Jamendo in feeds, in top albums. I'm playing some music, of the best albums on the albums that they have there. You can search as well. There is an interface there for search. So basically, I just showed two operations that you can do with Grilo, like searching and browsing. But the point is, in different kinds of applications, right? In different kind of plugin sources. But one of the things that I find more amusing, more cool in Grilo is that you can just gather metadata. So you have like this Steve movie, and you want the thumbnail, you want the subtitles, you want like who works on it, cast, and so on. So if you know some sort of source, like, I don't know, IMDb, and you want to get all this information from there and put in your application, so Grilo can do it very nicely. Yeah, so I want to, before going to the next part, I want to just a little bit explain how this part works. So Totem is the application here. Then there is the blue part. I would say like this is whole Grilo. And then the green part is the plugins. So this interface that I just showed you uses 4 plugins. The video title parsing, that in this case is the only one written in Lua. I will open the source code afterwards to show how it's done. The TVDB for TV shows, so it gets like the cast, the director, so on. TMDB, which is used for movies, and Open Subtitles plugins, so you can get the subtitles for that movie or that TV show that you want to see. How it works? So Totem asks Grilo, Grilo, I have the file name of this movie. Can you get me some information from it? And then it will pass through video title parsing, which is the plugin that says, I can handle it from a file name. I can give you this information. And video title parsing does it. If it does successfully, it will get to Grilo back. And in case of a movie, it's the year, it's the name of the movie. If it's a TV show, it can maybe show the season, episode, the name of the TV show, and so on. And then, yeah, Totten, that's not just what Totten wants, right? He wants like the thumbnails, he wants the cast, and so on. So if it's like a TV show, Totten asks, Grilo, give me everything that I want, right? So it will do through the 2 plugins at least, in case of TV show, TVDB or Open Subtitles, and Grilo will return him everything that it's necessary to pop up this interface and play the video for you with all that you need. So this is more likely the workflow of it. And yeah, we are entering the second part. I want to pass through a little bit. I want to show you how Grilo works a little bit, but I will not go in deep details on it. If you have any questions, feel free. We can dive in it if you want. But my main point is the goal I said is giving you an overview and how it works and what you can do and how much work you need if you want to use it and extend it and so on. So if you are using Grilo, the common application flow, it's just this for. You just have you have already the plugins outside the application. So all you need is load them. Then there are applications that need some sort of configuration, like username, password, API key, or so on. So these kind of things, the application can configure and give it nicely. I think you saw it in Totten. I had my pocket with my username and so on, so it was configured already. And then you have to activate. Then it's ready to be used. So far, any questions? No. But yeah, so this is a sample. Yeah, cool thing. Grilo API is in C, but there is some introspection. GNOME Music use it in Python. I think there are Vala bindings for it as well. So yeah, there are several ways you can use it, even in application level. Yeah, so this is just a small example of how you can configure the plugin. So you can see in the first function, in case of YouTube, you just need the API key that YouTube provides to you. Then it's generic, right? It's not user specifics, but generic. So any application that needs to interact with YouTube needs this API key. So you can set it, and that's all. I'm not going deep in the whole all the objects that it can provide, but if you have any question, the Grilo registry is the one that handles the plugins. So everything related to the plugins go through it. The Grilo config is the object for configurations and so on. No much mystery. We have a really good documentation. It takes just 1 hour maybe, and you could understand everything. And then the second function is the load plugins. The most interesting part is the last function, Grilo registry load all plugins. It will do it you call the configure before and then load it, and that's basically it. Yeah. So operations that Grilo supports. I told you search and browse. I was not clear with resolve actually. So all that gathering metadata, the operation that you do is resolve. So you already have a video, you already have some information, you want more information. So this operation to get more information from something that you already have is resolve. So yeah, for instance, you have the file name, it's already something, and you want the thumbnail for that video or so. Yeah, you use resolve. Grilo also supports 2 more functions, which is remove and store. Yeah, the idea is that you are interacting with some source, and you may want to remove some content from your remote source or even local, depends of the plugin, or store. So both of them are, I didn't show, but they are quite similar. An example of the search. So yeah, in C again. So in this case, I have this part here, this lower side. Grilo source search is the function. You can see like how it's defined up there. You need the Grilo source. In this case, it's Jamendo. You can get it with registry, or there are plenty of ways to have this. Then you search for rock, for instance, because you want rock music or so on, or rock artist, who knows. And then you have to create a list of the keys that you want. Maybe not all of the keys that are provided by Jamendo. Maybe some keys are provided by other source. And this is one of the coolest things in Grilo. If you want something like lyrics, very common. You want lyrics from a music, and Jamendo does not provide it. It can look for other sources, other plugins. Hey, can you give me the lyrics for this music? And it will return in the same callback for you if it finds it. Okay. So yeah, source, the text you want to search, the keys that you want, some options. So there are some examples there, like, yeah, I want five results. I want I want to resolve it in different ways, like as fast as possible. It's possible, just local, remote. So there are several options that you can set for it, and then you pass the search callback, some user data, and that's it. When the Grilo will try to solve everything for you and call this callback back with every media. Like in this example, I'm trying to search for 5 elements. It will call this callback 5 times. Yeah, basically each time is a new Grilo media. It can set the remaining parameter. So like you ask it for 5 or 50, but it only have 2. Don't know. So it will say, oh, you wanted 5, but it only have 2. So you can check remaining the user data. And yeah, this is a way that you can get the information from Grilo. There is the whole API for each metadata. So you can get like duration, Grilo media get duration from the media, get the URL for some video or so. Yeah. This is the part of the search. I will not go into browse, remove, and store. They are really, really, really similar. Like you have to pass like Grilo source, browse, and some content to it. Then it will browse. Like in the Jamendo example, you can pass browse new, and you to return true elements, which is like I forgot, but yeah, the top level of browsing. Then you can go like by artist, the second level, and so on. Remove, store is the same thing. You pass the Grilo media in that source, what you want to store or remove. Yeah, so let's show some example of what I want to show is exactly that interface from Totem that actually does not exist. It's a work in progress. I should have finished it by now, but I didn't. So I'll show it a little bit now. First of all, how is it currently, right? Don't know which way is better. No. So it's just like a basic interface. I just filled this, looking to internet to get, actually did not. So in case of TV shows, there is a database, a cache locally for the plugin, so it didn't even look into the internet to get this information because I did it before. But the internet here is really good, so it would do very fast. Like 3 examples: Breaking Bad, Limitless, and let's see the source. So yeah, you can see there is like the widget, which is Totem Video Summary, and there is sample.c, right? I will first of all show the sample.c. The sample.c would be like, yeah, bigger. Enough? Or so let's see if I can. There is just 2 functions, right? The main and setup Grilo. Let's go fast by main first. Yeah, GTK init, Grilo init, right? Some information related to widgets. In the case of Totem, they prefer the dark theme. So Bastien fixed it for me. And then you set up Grilo. Let's go through it. So this widget, it uses, yeah, just three. I thought I said it before 4 because Open Subtitles is not upstream that yet. So the branch, there is a branch with the subtitles in this widget, but it's not here in this moment. So there is just 3 plugins being loaded. Actually, it loads all of them, but it does not activate them. It's a new API, actually. So first of all, Grilo config new, because all of them, the TVDB and TMDB, like for TV shows and movies, they need an API key. So all I need to do is like create a new config key, set the API key that I want, add the data config to the registry. So when I activate, it will pass through the plugin that config, and then it will load it correctly, right? And I activate the plugin afterwards. The second one, TMDB, because if it's a movie, same thing. It's an API key. I add it, I load the plugin, and so on. And then this one, Lua Factory. So the thing with Lua integration is that all the sources are part of a plugin. Let me explain that better. So there is, you have to understand 2 things. A plugin, what is the implementation of a plugin, and what is a source. I mentioned this a few times, but now is the time to explain it. So a plugin, for instance, he can provide you several sources. Like, I don't know, Flickr. You may have like 3 different accounts on Flickr, and Flickr can give you back 3 sources, right? 1 for each account. That's not true with Lua. That could not be done because in the case, Lua Factory is a plugin, and each plugin is own source. So if I have Flickr in Lua, it would be just 1 source. So this is like I'm going a little bit maybe deep enough. Yeah. So that's why I just load in Lua Factory, and what will happen? It will load all the sources that I have in that case, which the one I will be using is the video title parsing. So I don't know if I was clear. Do anyone have any questions? Yeah? Okay. So the widget. Yeah, so you can see that the widget, like, it's like 800 lines, I guess. It has like 3 resolve operations. You can see it. So I do, it's here. So there is a function to do the resolve by the TVDB, a function to resolve by TMDB, and a function to resolve by video title parsing. But maybe it's interesting as well to get the source. So you can see here I'm already using it, right? There's the source. Yeah, you can see I'm using self-pref video title parse source. Where is it? Where I set it? Here. When I set the new, so in the sample here, which one that creates the plugin, the widget. So when you create it in the init function there, in the new function it will try to get all the sources that the widget needs. In this case, Grilo TMDB, DTVDB, and Grilo video title parsing, right? And I save these sources to use later on. And yeah, and also some metadata keys that are specific. So in this case, like the TVDB, there is a specific key, which is the TVDB poster key, and TMDB has the TMDB poster key, and I needed to get it from registry. So I do everything here, and afterwards it's just the resolve call. I'll show you now. So first of all, when you try to add the function, it will try to resolve video title parsing, right? The function it's pretty. The three of them are really similar. You want to resolve the video title parsing, and you create some options, resolve it, and you ask what you want. So I don't know if the video is a TV show or not, so I ask everything that I can from that, and the callback will try to understand if it's a movie or not. So if I can get the show name, which is specific for TV show, then I know it's a TV show. I set a Boolean here for later use. I set the content already to not make the UI stuck, like waiting for several operations. So it sets the name, everything that I have, and then I resolve by TVDB, which is the same thing. Like I just ask again lots of information and ask TVDB for those information. So it's basically the same thing. And when I finish it, I set the UI with it, and so on. Yeah. So far, any questions? Any doubts?
Just ask all the sources that you have if they have information about this title, for example, or this keyword.
Yeah.
All the sources and all the options of different places this keyword can appear, and then you filter it in your program.
If I can ask all of it?
That's what you do.
No, it's not what I do. Because for resolving, there is an option, which is this resolve normal. Resolve normal, this option, is just like I want from this source only. There is resolve full, and resolve full does exactly like that. If that source does not have what I want, it will try to get from other sources. So it's a option flag, right? You can set. Before? Yeah, before the calling. Yeah, before calling the function. I answered? Yeah? Any other questions so far? No? Yeah, we'll have a scarf afterwards. So, going back to... So I showed you search, browse is basically the same. You can see all of them is some basic API calls, but the great thing is that you don't have to care about what is going to happen in the plugin side, right? Does it use JSON? Does it need some crazy stuff? No, I don't care. I'm just doing some search. If it's some configuration needed, it's on the config level, like in application starting it. So it's I like it, very easy. So I want to give you some overview about creating plugins, but I'm not going to go into Vala and neither in C part, okay? Because it would be a bit boring go through all of them, in my opinion. But I will give at least some comparison. So you can create 3 types of plugins in 3 languages at the moment. And C was the mainly one, which is we started with C. It's a G object, so there is lots of boilerplate if you want to just start writing the plugin. But it's all the benefits that you can have in Grilo. The C can handle it because it's the main one. For instance, creating multiple sources. I have the example of UPnP, which is Universal Plug and Play. So I was looking, for instance, during other talk, in my Totem, I was seeing some people that had DONA server, so I could access some content from it. I don't want to access it, but you can have any different sources for. It searches the network, right, and provides this to your application in case Totem. It's very nice. It works out of the box. I don't need to do anything. So C plugins. The Lua sources, as I mentioned, which is loaded by Lua Factory, and Vala. Actually, I never touched Vala. Some other people here did it. I know. So why Lua? It was one question that, the Lua integration came 3 years ago, yeah, when I started, because it was my first Google Summer of Code project on this, having Lua integration. And people asked, why not Python? Why not like a powerful language? Because we don't want like so heavy stuff on it. We want just something light that can do some, you can extend it if you want. And I will show you that we did with some nice extensions. It makes writing a plugin much faster nowadays. So why not Python? Why not other language? Because Lua is just like enough. It's fast. It's very easy to integrate with C. And yeah, and you can see like Lua has lots of comparisons. It's a quite fast language. Yeah, definitely the goal was having like less boilerplate than the object plugins in C, and making the writing plugins more fun and faster. We have some helpers from Lua Library that is part of the Lua Factory plugin. So yeah, we don't need to parse JSON, we don't need to parse XML on Lua like we need in C. There's no way. In Lua, we just like get this from a string and it creates a table for you. I don't know if you know Lua, but table is like one of the best things in Lua. There is the Goa integration as well, which stands for GNOME line account. So you have like GNOME line accounts in GNOME. You can like type your username, configure like Pocket in my case, YouTube or so on, Flickr definitely. And if it's integrated, the plugin is integrated, is using Goa, GNOME line accounts. It will pass this information to the source, Lua source, and out of the box will work. Yeah, but it has its limitations. So in the sense that, for instance, we don't support at the moment the store and remove operations in Grilo, just because we are still like trying to improve it as much as we can. Having it is not hard, but it's not there wasn't any request to have it so far. Like you saw, I mentioned the TVDB poster key. So that's a metadata key that the plugin created. Lua, at the moment, is not able to create any specific metadata keys that the application might want, which is pity, but it's some work in progress to have it. And yeah, definitely a few more things that is not in top of my mind, but otherwise it's quite cool. Yeah, actually there is also resource integration, so you can have it quite well. I will show some code. But before showing the code, just to showcase like how a plugin is initialized on Grilo. So in this case, it's the video title parsing again. I just need to create a table in this with the name source is important, and set some information for it. ID, the name, and description, they are all mandatory. Then you can say like this supported keys. In this case, like the name of the episode, the show, public date, all this, it can handle. It can return some information for it if it's possible, if he can do it. The supported media is video. So yeah, something I did not mention before. Grilo Media has some time ago, since 2009, since it started, 3 types of media. Actually, 4. Video, image, audio, and container. And it's interesting for the plugin to filter it, right? I don't want to like I don't know. I want to give you lyrics information. I don't want to do it for images, right? So this is very handy in several cases. So you can set like supported media for this plugins to do. And yeah, resolve keys is for the resolve operations. It actually says like what is required. So all it needs is a title, like the file name in this case. Let's show some sources, some examples as well. So far, any questions? No? Good. So yeah, I open here 2 examples, the Guardian videos and the Apple trailers. But why not? Let me open Totem first. So this is my daughter. Then channels, you can see here. So the totem, I open it. Apple Movies trailers is the one that I will show. This is all done by these 100 lines in Lua. Like getting this content, right? The filling the widgets is part of the totem. So, don't know. Yeah, Bastien was the one that wrote this one. Yeah, we can set some informations there. In this case, you saw that in Totem there is an icon related to GNOME, to Guardian videos. Is by this from the resource, so it has integration with the resource, which is nice. Yeah. So you saw that I was able to browse. Actually, I was able to browse Apple videos, but it's the same. So how it works with API, Lua API for implementing a function. So in this case, browse, right? If it was search, the first parameter would be a text, like what I want to find. As it is a browse, it's this media. This media could be new, as I said. Then it should like provide the root case for the browsing. But if I like artist, then it will be like the artist container. So it's like a parameter for the plugin to do the browse correctly in the right level. Options are related to the Grilo options. So you can have like how many, in this case, these two cases, how many data I want to return, how many data I want to skip. Like I want to skip the first 100 informations and videos or so, and give me 50 more. And yeah, this is like the logic behind it, how to do the handling to get the right URL. And here is one of the Grilo functions, Grilo fetch, which does, you can pass an array or just a single URL, and you can download the content of that. So usually what happens is you are trying to get some JSON, some XML, maybe HTML, and you want to parse it. And this will provide you the content of it. Like, so you pass the URL you want, and the Lua callback function on some user data to it. Callback function. Then the results are here. Could be more than one, right? And this is like one of the nicer functions, one of them. It like you don't have to care about the content of the JSON. You have a table now. So you can like make the whole Grilo media directly from it. It's actually exactly what the Lua does, Lua Factory. You need to pass back a Grilo table, and you create a Grilo media for you. So if I can have the JSON in a table already, half of the work is done, just a single line. So just for example, this is the JSON. It needs like a response, status, and so on. And in this case, I did just one video. And you saw the results here array in JSON provides like a type of a video, some other fields like, let's see, publication, some summary, and so on. But in the Lua side, I just need to like, okay, JSON failed? No. JSON is stat, so I'm already accessing the JSON. Is it fail? No. So if it fails, you can like return it as an error, or you can like start to walk through the table related to the results and returning each time doing a callback for the media that you create. Then it will call the application callback and so on. So quite fast. I have like 5 more minutes. I can show you another one with the XML, which is Apple trailers. But so far, any other questions? There is Carl, yeah?
Okay, since you are parsing outside sources, there comes a time when the code will get really big and the plugin will stay a lot of time processing it. Have you implemented any mechanisms that actually try to keep track how the plugin is doing from the C side? That's sometimes a problem.
Yeah. So in case of, for instance, trying to fetch too much data, like downloading it, and it can take time.
Yeah,
so
this is a typical problem with Lua.
Yeah.
When you read the plugin right, runs too long. Do you have any mechanism?
Yeah. So this Grilo fetch is actually a user API for the Grilo net, which is a library for Grilo, and this is like a libsoup implementation. So what it does is like using libsoup smartly to exactly handle this kind of information. So Grilo has this library for the C plugins, and we have it for the Lua plugins as well. And it does it quite well.
Okay, question to that. If I create an infinite loop in the plugin, what will it do?
It will not, maybe it will not return. If I don't think there is any timeout on the Grilo net, but it could have some. But yeah, I don't know if I never saw it, but it could be a bug, yeah. But so far, it's not in the Lua side. It would be in the library related to fetching the data, right? Because this is all GLib main loop, and yeah, and it just check if the data was already finished or not, and then keep doing other stuff. Under Scarf, any other questions? Oh. So in case of Apple Trailer, it's pretty similar. Browsing, and fetching here as well. It's basically that. You have the input from the application, you fetch some data, you parse this data, and you provide in the callback what it was requested. So it's like very similar, but the main gains here compared with C is like these two functions: the XML string to table, and in the other case, Guardian Videos, JSON, string to table as well, right? Because it makes like from a string, whole string, that in C you have to parse each element, and like you can see like in the other sources like tvdbb, which I implemented, it's very annoying, like 100 lines of just that, and here's 100 lines everything. So very fast, easy to write plugins nowadays with Lua. So. What I want to tell you in the end is that Grilo is very cool, for my opinion. It's less code in your application, right? Because most of it is handled in the application in the Grilo side. One API to handle all the different technologies and protocols that have it there. So you just need like one interface for all of them. And yeah, you can create three types of plugins at least. If you want like Vala, which I know some people like, C or Lua, and so on. That's all from me. If you have any questions, let me know. You can find us on Grilo and gipnet.org. I'm always there. We have a good documentation, which I did not show. I can show it now, maybe. Yeah. So it's like really good documentation. We have like how to write applications with Grilo, how to do plugins with Grilo, how to implement sources. Like it's very good documentation. So all the operations are here, examples, like all the description. So my main goal is making you understand how hard is it or how easy is it to have it, and I hope you understood and like it. That's all from me. Thank you. Yeah. Can I throw? Yeah. Ready? I think it was just 2 scarves, right? I think so.
You can take all 4, give them 4 questions.
Okay. I don't know if I have it was that much. Can I remove it?